Okay, hello everyone. So in this video I'll be going through my binders and reorganizing a bit. So recently I went on Amazon and bought some new binders and some new sleeves. So I bought two new 3-inch binders. I'm moving up from 2-inch to 3-inch, so I'm hoping that holds out. And I also bought just one pack of 100 of some newer Ultra Pro sleeves. So here, I'm gonna get started here in a second, and I do start with my alt binder, so like the one that doesn't include Hot Shot, so all my other alts, and you'll kind of see the process I go through. I do change how I kind of do it because it was really tiring. But so before the sleeves, I was using Ultra Pro sleeves, and they were Ultra Pro, but they were also like not really great quality. They were probably like the cheapest ones you could get. And I know they definitely were pretty cheap because I just got them from Walmart. So, you know, they weren't really anything special. I just basically got what I could get. I mean, for me, all I really wanted was to be able to display the things. It never really mattered to me like how it was displayed, if that makes any sense, especially because I double sleeved my cards. It's like the quality of the sleeve didn't 100% matter to me. But lately I've just been a little unsatisfied with how things have been looking in my binder. Like the sleeves I was using were definitely getting a little bit dirty because I'd had some of them for a while, you know how that goes. And I just really wanted something better quality because, you know, the higher quality Ultra Pro sleeves are obviously, you know, the best thing to use. And I just finally bit the bullet and bought them just because, yeah, like I said, I was really unsatisfied with how things were looking. And I think definitely with the way things look, like it definitely looks like the cards definitely look really clear and it's just easy to look at. I'm just kind of loving everything about these new sleeves, and yeah, I think this was definitely a really great purchase and I'm happy I did it. I originally wasn't going to. I was just going to put it off just because, you know, I have some different priorities as of right now. But, yeah, I was kind of getting a little bit antsy about the quality of my sleeves. So I figured I'd just go ahead and change it. No big deal. But I did, like I said, I only bought one pack of 100 of the Ultra Pro sleeves. And, you'll see this at the end of the video, but I actually used exactly 100, and I did a little bit of reorganizing in my girl group's binder to make this work a little bit, but it was actually kind of mostly a coincidence that it turned out to like actually fit. So I'll definitely need to get some more like as soon as possible. And you'll also notice throughout this video that there's some like sets of cards or just some, you know, cards here and there that are transparent and they just have white papers behind them. And I actually did buy some of the white sleeves, the sleeves with the white back. I actually bought some of those so I could redo that. So that's actually not something you'll see me do in this video. I will go through and re-sleeve those specific cards that need to be re-sleeved in a different video that you'll see sometime by the end of the month. But I'm actually really excited to go through and do that because that'll also just make things look a lot nicer. I was always pretty partial to just using the paper because, I mean, it definitely works. And yeah, that's just another thing, which actually gets me on another topic. So I've been thinking lately about what it would be like if I double sleeved, or if I used white sleeves on all of my cards and then like double-sided the sleeves themselves, like the pages, if that makes sense. Like I put 2 cards in one spot, you know. I think y'all get what I'm talking about. But I've been thinking about what I would do if I did that, and I think personally it's not feasible that I do it, mostly because, you know, sleeves are really expensive and I'd have to buy a lot of sleeves. I'd have to buy probably close to like 500, and at the moment I can't really do that. And also I do really like to see the backs of cards, so I mean I don't want to cover them, but also there are some collections of mine that I feel like I could see myself doing that for. Like I do want to try it out just to see how it looks, but I'm also not just going to buy a shit ton of sleeves just so I can see how it looks. Like, I want to be happy with it, and I know I won't be happy with it just because, I mean, like I said, I do really like to see the backs of cards, but like, I think especially because not a lot of my collections are very big, like, they don't really surpass like 3 9-pocket sleeves, I'd say. But I think like my Twice collection is definitely one of my biggest collections as of right now. It's like one of the collections I've kept consistent since I started collecting in 2015, and I think that's a big feat for me, but that's besides the point. But I've been thinking about what it would look like if I did double-side cards, and I feel like that's a collection I might like to do it with, but it's also kind of, again, not worth it to do. It's not really that big of a deal, it's just something I've been thinking about. I know I definitely don't want to do it for my whole collection because I can understand why some people would want to do it just to, save space, and also, I mean, the front of the card is the actual important part of it. You don't necessarily need to see the back of it, but I do like to see the backs just in general. So, I mean, to me, it's just as much a part of the photo card as anything else. So, yeah. Yeah, so I've been working through my NCT collection, and going through it, I actually realized just how much I like the way it looks. I like the way it's organized a lot, and I'm just really happy with at least the photo cards part of it, like the normal sized cards. This bigger sized section is something that I feel like could be worked on a little bit, and I think I need to come to more of a conclusion about how I want to organize it. I think I definitely need to come up with a better system for it, but like my photo card collection by itself is something I'm really happy with, so that's cool. I think especially since I reorganized it to each member having their own specific section, I've definitely liked it a lot more. And yeah, so Up10tion here is like the only group that hasn't, I mean, they don't really have a lot of 9-pocket sleeve sized cards, which I'd say about half of my collection goes in 9-pocket sleeves, and I mean, that's only as of recently. This agent card set is one of my favorites, and I love this set a lot. I think that was their first real go at normal sized cards, which actually made me really happy. And then the Moment of Illusion sets I really love too, so yeah, actually even just like seeing them all together makes me really happy. Especially if Up10tion starts to do normal size photo cards consistently, I'll try to collect full group. I've always really wanted to collect more for Up10tion, but I've never really been able to. And the circle cards, like there's some older sets that I wouldn't mind going back and collecting, but it wouldn't necessarily be easy. I don't think they're easy to find, but like the one hockey set from Burst, that set is gorgeous, and I'd really love to collect that full set. But here, you'll notice that I actually have my X1 stuff for Wusuk in the Up10tion section, and I reorganized my X1 section out of like pure sadness. Whenever I get whenever something happens to like a group I collect, I basically reorganize my binder out of sadness. But But I did move Woosuck's X1 stuff to the Up10tion section, and Hangul's is in a different section. You'll see that later. It's obviously not in either of the first two binders, but you'll see how I have that organized in a bit. But here's where I started putting together my Hotshot collection, and I'm thinking a lot about how I want to organize this, especially like the transparent set. That'll look a lot better once I get the white sleeves. I'm basically just waiting for that, just very patiently, because I know it's just going to look a lot better when those come in. Yeah, I feel like I have a lot more Hotshot cards than like thought I had. Like, they have so few cards, but I guess as like Hotshot themselves. But they do kind of have more sets, like full sets that I've bought than I guess I feel like. I don't know. It's weird, but I definitely wish I had more to collect from them than I did. Here comes all of my like fan site cards and stuff. I don't like sleeve every individual card necessarily. I did start to do it because I had some extra sleeves, but I don't use like my like, what are they called? I don't use like my good sleeves for it. They don't necessarily need like the extra protection. I wanted them to stay more in place, because if I don't, they do kind of move around a lot because they're like not super great quality cards. I mean, like, they're nice cards. They're just like maybe like thinner material, you know? That should make sense. I hope it does. And after my Hotshot collection comes my Taehyun collection. I admittedly do really like how this collection looks, wishing it were bigger. I do want to collect all the cards, as I've said before, but I think at this point I just need to start buying more albums to, get different cards. But my only fear with that is getting duplicates and then not being able to trade. But yeah. And then we move on to my Sungwoon collection. I definitely made a mistake here. I started putting in the blue cards before the My Moment cards, which I'll get to those after I finish this. But I'm really close to finishing out the blue set. I only need like 2 or 3 cards to finish that out, which is super exciting. I'm definitely a lot farther away from completing My Moment, but it's totally fine. At this point, it's just a matter of finding the cards for a good price. So I've got 44 cards I need. I have some, I don't know how many I have at this point, but yeah. I'm hoping I can get a good pace going, but yeah, it's not easy. I just feel like, I don't know, Sungwoon there's not many people that collect him. There never really has been. And I mean, that kind of continued. And especially because it's like a solo release. I mean, people aren't going to really want to trade his cards because they want his cards if they bought his album. I mean, that makes sense, but I also need them, and I'm not going to buy 80 albums, but maybe if I had the money, I'd buy however many albums I needed. But I'm poor, so that's just how it is. Some of the cards from My Moment are really cute, though. I'm excited to have them. And then, yeah, the transparent, I think I only need one transparent card to finish out like that part of the blue set. And then next, these are fan club cards. Love these. These are actually super cute. There's 15 of them total. I do have cards coming from Sunghoon's most recent like fan, I don't know what it was. It was like a fan meeting, must have been. But they're like calendar cards. He had a season's greetings for the year, and I thought it was gonna have like an official release, but it like didn't. I thought it was gonna be like one of them conventional season's greetings, but like it really wasn't. Like it was basically sold as merch for that event, and it like basically everything was sold separately. So there was the calendar and DVD that was sold, and then the diary set, which was sold separately, and then like the calendar photocard set, which again was sold separately. So yeah. And then moving on to JBJ, this collection just fits in like my sleeve so perfectly. Love it. And then UNB, I love this collection so much. It's so small, like my Hojung collection for UNB is so small, but it also is like just so precious to me because I had like such a wonderful time being able to collect Hojung. It was really great being able to like be able to like search for his cards. And then 101, the last section in here, I decided I would rearrange the way I set up my full set of To Be One, just because I didn't like having it on 4 different sleeves. Figured I'd put it on 2 different pages instead of the 4. So yeah, I just put Sunghoon, Jinyoung, and the group on the back. So I mean, it works. It definitely it looks nice. I just don't like that I can't see the backs of the cards that I double-sided. But, you know, it's fine. It's fine. And I have to say, my 101 collection for Sunghoon, I feel like it's like honestly a collection I don't enjoy looking at very much. And I don't know why. It's a weird feeling. I don't really ever want to look at it. And I don't know why. I obviously really love 101 to this day, of course. Like, that love isn't going anywhere, but I just, whenever I flip through my binders, I tend to skip the section. Maybe it's just because I'm sad, I don't know. But yeah, I definitely feel like I don't have as much 101 cards for Sunghoon as I could, or maybe should. I don't know. I feel like there's just a lot of stuff I don't have, which is fine. I definitely don't need everything. But yeah, I got into collecting Sunghoon later than I should have, because when I started standing 101, Sunghoon wasn't really my bias, but I ulted Hotshot, and then he became my bias. I don't know, he was always really high up there for me, just because, of course, I am a Hotshot fan, but I don't know, once he became an ult, he obviously became my main bias of 101. That makes sense, right? The only thing in this binder, basically, right here, is the Rising Star set. Well, it's the transparent card set. Oh, that's never getting finished, but it's fine. I have my one Jinyoung card, it's totally fine. But I really do enjoy the way this binder looks, and I've been actually thinking about taking all of the fan site stuff out, but I'm not too sure about that yet. I don't really know where I'd put it if I took it out, so I do like having it there for now, I guess. If I figure something else out, then that's fine, but for now it's good. Yeah, so after I actually went through and put everything else back in the binder that needed to be there, this binder was actually still really full. I was actually kind of wondering how I fit everything in a 2-inch binder, because the 3-inch was definitely really full by the time I was finished putting everything in. So I don't know, it was just kind of weird. I don't know if you'll be able to see just how full it was, but yeah, definitely maybe should have gotten a 4-inch. I don't know. it's kind of amazing how full it is, just because I mean, it definitely doesn't grow that much, but you know. And then here, I believe this is what I used as my boy groups binder. Yes, so I switched out my boy groups to the black binder I was using for my alts before, and I used the black binder because I only have 3 white binders, so I mean, I had to kind of give somewhere. Like, I really enjoy the look of white binders, so I wanted to use white binders for the majority, but I figured black is obviously fine because it's like, but it didn't really help in the way of space, just because my boy groups binder is generally pretty full. Starting off AB6, I always have trouble getting cards in the top slots of the pages. It was really annoying, like that was a consistent problem. But yeah, I think the sets for the first album are really pretty. I really love them, and I'm glad I was able to collect it for sure. Oh, and yeah, so like I said, I do have another Photocard video coming out at the end of the month. So it's like where I'll be organizing all of the cards I got in the month. So yeah, that'll be out after my haul for the month, so you can look out for that. But you'll see some things in here that were not here before. But like with that said, I do need to figure out a way to like store my Youngmin like extra cards, because that last page that I just showed you with like the group cards and extra stuff like that, it's a little bit unsatisfying, and I want to see if I can come up with a better way. But I mean, if I can, it's fine, but I do plan on collecting a lot of Youngmin's extra stuff, so that'll be fine. Next up is New East. This collection, it goes from being super full to super empty. It's actually really sad. But I think I definitely really like how this collection is going so far. I think I'm going at a good pace with it. Happily Ever After is definitely not going good, but we'll get there eventually. And that's all that matters. But yeah, my 1 card out of 8, very lonely. My collection for the table, though, is actually going great, which I'm happy about. I definitely didn't expect A, to pull a card, or B, to be able to kind of trade for a few cards, so that's nice. I also bought a few cards that were for a generally good price, so. And I got to this point, and my phone stopped filming, ran out of space, so I just showed you what I'd already put away. Luckily, I didn't get too far before noticing, but yeah. And then here are just some extra things. Yeah, so then we move on to We in the Zone, one of my most recent prized collections. I'm really happy to be collecting this group, though. I generally do have a good time. Like, it's definitely hard to find their stuff, but I do find a lot of satisfaction in being able to complete their stuff, so yeah. The first album was definitely a challenge, but I mean, a challenge never hurt no one, so yeah. The cards for their second mini album are definitely really cute, though. Super happy with these ones. Like, couldn't have asked for a cuter set, to be honest. And I love that everything fits on one page. I mean, it's sad that we have 4 members now instead of 5, but I mean, just the aesthetic of the page looks really nice. I just kind of love how basically complete my collection is for We in the Zone. I have at least most of the things that they've put out there. I think there's some things in Japan that I don't have, but it's cool. I don't need everything, but yeah, we're getting close to the end of this binder. Just have my Sheehan stuff left, and then I think one other group. I've been thinking about this lately, but I think I'm in a good place with where my collection is at the moment. Like, I'm really happy with all of the different groups I'm collecting, and I don't really see myself cutting down on any of the groups I'm collecting at the moment. I'm thinking that I don't really see myself adding any groups either, except there's like one group I'll consider adding, and that's One We. I'll collect Dongmyeong, maybe even Kia, if I get the opportunity, but as of right now, they don't have any cards, so I don't have to worry about it, but that's really the only instance where I can see myself adding another group. Like, at the moment, I'm really happy with all of the groups I'm collecting, so I don't see myself changing it. Hopefully, I don't have to make any hard decisions soon, but the last section in this binder is my UMB collection for Kijung, and I also added Hangul into this section too. Just like I said, I reorganized a little bit, so I figured I'd add Hangul just because they're both MBK boys. So, I mean, Kijung and Hangul are like BFFs anyways, so I wanted to keep them together for that reason. Well, I put them together because of that reason. I didn't, whatever. But just like I put Busuk back in Up10tion, I put Hangul with his MBK brother. So yeah, I think I coincidentally made the divider for their sections the same, without meaning to at all, and I thought that was really weird. Is they're low-key soulmates, it was meant to be. But yeah, I have most stuff put away at this point. I did take one card out of my Impact collection just because it wasn't an Eunjae card, so I didn't need it. And also I switched around the placement of Kenta and Sangyun in their section because I kind of consider Sangyun my bias now in the group. I didn't really before, I didn't really have a bias in JBJ95, but I think these days I consider Sangyun my bias, so yeah, I've been loving him a lot lately. And then lastly, we move on to my girl groups binder, which this one has definitely slimmed down a lot. There's not much in my girl group binder really at all. I think recently there's been a couple sections I've taken out, one of them being Chungha and another being Red Velvet. I did have a divider thing for Enchia. She's one of my fave solo artists, but I decided to take the section out because she doesn't have any album cards. I just have Make Star cards for her, so I don't ever see her having album cards, so I just kind of I put it in my everything else binder for the time being. If she does have album cards, I'll definitely bring that section back, but for now it's not needed. And then moving on to my Twice collection. This collection has been so hard to organize, but I finally got it to a place that I was happy with. I guess for the most part, as happy as I can be with it. Just it's so difficult to have it the way I want it. It's just really, really hard because there's just such a weird amount of cards for everything. But yeah, I definitely think my collection's looking good for Twice. Like, I already talked about this, but it's like one of my biggest collections. It's one of the collections I've been consistent with for the longest, and it actually does make me really happy to go through my Twice collection and see the progress I've made with all of the Jihyo cards. And yeah, it's great. Especially like with Yes or Yes, I actually just recently finished my Yes or Yes collection. I just bought the last card that I needed for it recently, so that is fun. Just everything is so close to being finished though, except like the full sets that I need. Like the OT9 sets I'm collecting, but like those are not huge priority, so you know. But I think like generally I'm really happy with it, and I think it says a lot because I was definitely struggling with my Twice collection for a while. Especially kind of last year, like at the beginning of last year. But then Twice just kind of, they came back with Fancy and I was just really feeling Twice again, so I didn't really have a problem with it anymore. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. Yeah, and while I was actually putting away some of the cards, I was thinking, what if I collected more OT9 sets? But that's not a good idea. I definitely really like to because I think having all of their colors on one page looks really nice, but you know, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work as much as I wanted to, but yeah. And then we're almost done with Twice. Yeah. And then moving on to like Itsy. Really, all I have left is Itsy and IZ*ONE in this binder. Both of which collections are really small. I did kind of cut down on my IZ*ONE collection a little bit. Like I just kept all of my JN cards. Of course, I had some extra like Hitomi and Nako cards that I didn't need, so I'll be trading those. But like everything else in this binder is basically just inactive girl groups. The only the only person that I can continue collecting is Yebin from Hinapia. So when and if they have cards, I'll definitely bring back that collection for her because she's been a bias of mine for a long time, especially since around Produce 101 days. Like she's been my girl for a long time. Makes me happy to see her back, especially. Yeah, but I think even though my girl groups binder has definitely slimmed down a lot, I'm really happy with how it looks. My Unity collection is complete. My IOI collection it's been complete for a long time. That's just how it's always been, but and then I just put the extra AKB stuff in the back there, and yeah, that's it. So with that said, that was everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching me reorganize a little bit. Now that I am watching this back, I'm probably going to do a little bit more reorganizing, but that is fine. Keep an eye out for the other Photocard video I plan to put out, and all of the rest of my videos that I will be posting soon. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.